Hey guys, welcome back. Well, since we're destroying the sheet metal on the car, we decided to attempt to fix this dent. So I'm going to show you. I've never done sheet metal. I've never done any body work. I've never done sheet metal repair like this or anything, so it's kind of YOLO, but let's see what happens. Hey guys, welcome back. So you can see we got this cut, and we ended up buying a plasma cutter, and it's not here yet. And we're going to try to use that to do some of the cuts. You can see we kind of like marked some of the metal in there that we need to cut, and then inside the fender well we also marked some of this, and we're going to try to plasma cut that out later, and if that doesn't work we'll just use a Dremel or something. But we have another project that we're about to start on too. Check this out. So let me try to roll back the timeline. Somewhere around 2008 or so, roughly. So I bought this car in 2006, and somewhere around like 2008 or 2009, I was sitting at a stop sign, and basically I stopped and the guy behind me decided to roll through the stop sign, and he drove right into the back of my car right here. And he was in some like Chevy truck or something, and it broke my tail light, but it did all this sheet metal damage. And it's in one of the worst spots of the car to hit it, because I mean, it's just hard to fix. Like if they had hit it over here, I don't know, it's mostly flat, but this thing curves, it goes to a sharp corner, there's a sharp corner here, and it totally just folded this in all these different directions. That just makes it really hard to fix. So I never fixed it. There's a stupid story, but basically I never got to fix the car, even though I had insurance and he had insurance. But anyway, a few years ago I tried to buy a quarter panel for this car, and I had a lot of bad luck. But I finally found a gentleman who sold me this one, and unfortunately this one was damaged. So when I bought it, I was paying for I needed one that had like never been repaired, never been painted, just basically like a regular cut off of a good car. And this wasn't it. So as you can tell, this kind of looks white. Look right there, that kind of looks green. As you start looking around, this actually came off of a green car, not a white car. There's green everywhere on this thing. And of course on the back side there's green spray paint from where they painted the car. So this has been, yeah, there you can see the transition from like green to white. So this had been repainted. But more than that, this car had been wrecked. So like right here you can see these are weld marks here, 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 there. This is from doing a dent repair where they weld to the metal and then use a hammer basically to pull the metal back into shape. So unfortunately it's got Bondo, and this whole area right here is Bondo. In fact, you can actually see the Bondo right there. That's it flaking off. That's Bondo. So anyway, wasn't what I was looking for. The guy ended up giving me a refund, and I never got another one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to use this. We don't know if it's gonna work. We may have to just buy another one. But this will get the project rolling. Once we cut this off the car, then we have to fix it. So this is why we're getting this. But our goal is to try to use this. The Bondo work all happened over here, and I was going to replace all this, but now I'm going to try to cut only the bad spot, because technically, I don't know if this panel is actually perfect or not, because this is, oh shit, there's Bondo right there. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I don't know, maybe that's just shitty paint under it. I mean, this corner here, this definitely looks like Bondo. Pretty sure that's Bondo, because that welds right under that. I don't know, maybe they just skimmed Bondo over the whole thing. We don't know what we're into on this. But we're still going to try to use this panel. The actual shape of this is, in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, there's a flange down here. Now this one's been painted over, so it's hard to see. But if you look on my car, you can actually see this panel has a line right here. This is where Mazda basically fits the panel, and then they spot weld it to the car, and it goes around this corner and it goes up. And had he cut down here, I could actually remove this and put it on my car, just drill out the spot welds. That would have made it easier, but that's not what happened. He just sawed it right there, which is basically in this region, kind of right here, but it kept going straight, so I lost all this. And mine's actually dented here a little bit, because you can see this crack opened up. It's not bad, but it is dented a little. But the good news is all this is under the bumper cover, and all this is behind the tail light. So we're gonna do the best we can and try to fix this. So let me say what I mean by best we can. I don't like Bondo. I'm gonna try to not use Bondo. Now you can see if we actually tried to repair this panel as it is, this is like horribly pushed in. I mean, this would be, you'd need an inch of Bondo to hide that. So that ain't gonna work. So what we're trying to do, for better or worse, is to establish points on this panel that we can also establish on that panel. So what I did, I should probably go write this down, but this little corner right there, I put a dot, and if I measured from here 6 inches over to following this curve until it intersects at 6 inches, I put a dot, and then I drew a line tangent to that curve, and that line comes up to there. So that leaves me a point here. Then over here, where this curve meets this straight line, I put a dot, and I measured vertically 6 inches up, and I put a dot. And then coincidentally, the top of that's actually up here. Yeah, right there. That's the top of that line. And then coincidentally, I have an 18-inch tape measure that's kind of flexible, and as you can see, I just taped it to the car, and it happens to pretty much be exactly 18 inches, and this thing curves, so you can see it's curve and following the body of the car, and I drew a line. And right here, there is some dented metal, so I kind of need to move this line up a little bit. I might cut this and see, because if I actually cut the line, I'll be really close to not having bent metal there. So we'll see. But this is what we did to try to mark out that section up here. This is the most important part, because this is what you're going to see when the car is done. And then all this stuff down here will be hidden, so it doesn't have to be as perfect. So anyway, for better or worse, you can see here that we're actually going to cut this whole piece out for the quarter panel, and we're going to cut this out for the fender clearance, or the tire clearance. So either way, that piece is gone. But I wanted to get this fixed, and I thought about it. I was getting ready to cut this, and I was thinking, damn, I might ought to put this in first, because if I cut this, I'm going to lose this reference, and I didn't know if that would matter, but I thought it might, and I was like, well, let's fix this before we start cutting stuff off. So anyway, that's our thought. We're marking this up. I still got to put something down here. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet, because I don't have a good reference. This panel has paint all, like, I might try cleaning the paint off that edge. Someone painted over this car and changed the color, so I can't really see the seams. Like, you can barely make out a spot weld. It's hardly showing up on camera. Whereas on my car, it's a little bit easier to see that boom, 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 boom. You can see the seam, which isn't on that panel, but anyway. We're going to try to, or I don't think, hell, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But we're going to try to establish some kind of reference and cut, and then put the new one on. I guess for this, it's probably not super important. But see, there's metal behind this too, so, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure there's more than one layer here, because you would think that like this and this, but I just don't know what we're getting into. So anyway, we're going to come up with some kind of reference and give this a cut, and then go from there. And then for back here, this line exists on both panels, so something like that I'm going to use for that reference. Anyway, here we go.